up, YouTube? Devin Midrow here, back at it again, live on camera, recorded on YouTube. It is September 25th, 2023. Another blessed day in this world, right? Nobody's promised tomorrow. So you gotta cherish the very day you have. Oh, how's this guy? What the heck? Jeez. Okay. Anyway, driving. Very important. Pay attention. Watch the people around you. They do very interesting things. So, anyway. Back to the topic at hand. It is a solid 70 degrees right now. And on top of that, it is overcast. Mostly overcast. You can see the sun, the blue sky poking through a little bit here and there, but they got some nice dark clouds out there. So, in the morning, when the sun rises from the east, traditionally, usually the clouds tend to be, well, they're kind of all over the place, but definitely towards the east, which is just fantastic because it's not blocking my view. So there you have it. Now, with that said, it is it's a Monday, and back in the vehicle, driving, going to work, and I was just thinking about it. I was thinking, it takes me about an hour to get to work. Actually, to get to work and then to get into the building to work, it takes me about an hour total, and I was just thinking, like, wow, and it takes about an hour to get from work back home. And if you do the math, if you work 5 days a week, which is pretty traditional for most people, some people do the 410s, right? And there's all these other variable schedules that even nurses typically have. I think they got like 3 days on, 4 days off, and then it kind of flips or something like that. But then of course firefighters, right? They got some pretty extreme schedules as well. So every career path is not going to have the same work schedule, but most businesses or whatever career you're pursuing, they're going to have that 40-hour work week, 5 days a week kind of schedule. And that's a lot of time, right? That's 10 hours right there. It's 10 hours a week spent driving. Hence, again, why I do these videos, because granted, I'm not going to talk for an hour, unless I got something really good to talk about, which maybe later I will, as I really get more specific and focused on, what I want to cover. However, the objective here is just, get the wheels going, get some grease on the wheels and just keep it moving, right? So that is what it comes down to. So we are in the process of moving. I'm still going to school full-time online, still working full-time, still trying to fit in time to manage the farm whenever we can and do whatever we can get done within the hours we have for daylight, which isn't much Monday through Friday. It isn't much, right? When we get home, we got an hour or two, and then there's all these other things we got going on as well. So it's a lot, right? It's a lot of things happening, right? And we do it to ourselves, right? We do it to ourselves. It's like do we have to be this busy? No, we don't. But then again, it's like you look at life and you look at what you have in front of you, and you think, well, like, I got this day in front of me. Do I really just want to get up and not do anything with it? Do I want to squander it? Absolutely not, right? I mean, I think that there's a yin to the yang, right? Like, yeah, it's kind of chaotic right now, right? I mean, a lot of times it's chaotic, and there's some times when it gets kind of peaceful and things kind of level off, and then you get more time on your hands where you can do things that are probably more preferred or more enjoyable. But that's what it comes down to, right? It's just pushing. It's just pushing the limits of life, right? Sometimes you got to push past those limits, and you got to break it. You got to break it to see where the breaking point is at. Because if you don't ever find that breaking point, you'll never really truly know if you've actually tapped into your highest potential, right? So that's a really, really important factor to consider. Making mistakes is not inherently bad. I would say for sure not learning from those mistakes is very bad, right? All the way around, right? That's just a very straightforward, like, if you're making mistakes and you're not learning from them and improving as making all the right choices and the best decisions every day, all day. It doesn't happen, man. It doesn't work that way. So if you accept that, and you realize that, and you embrace that, then you can actually, really make some serious strides towards getting to a better version of yourself each and every day. So, what's the point of this, right? The point of this is to get on and make these videos, right? That's really the point. I'm trying to get to 100, and I think I'm at 70 something right now as we speak. Pretty confident with that, I got to go back to the drawing board. When I was doing this a lot more consistently, I had it down. Like, I knew what video was at most of the time, and I knew what day it was going to be, and how close I was and all that stuff. And now that I've kind of been getting back into the groove of things, I still got to figure that part out. But it's exciting though. It's exciting to push forward. A lot of exciting things. Our son is coming back to live with us next month, ending of next month, so about 30 days from now. And I've missed the heck out of him. It's been a couple years, right? What the heck, right? It's not like it's a big personal thing, but like me and his mom did not. It didn't work out, right? But we get along. Everything's all good. You know what I mean? And it's just, it happens, right? When parents divorce, they split up, and sometimes, or even lots of times, they'll move to different locations that are not going to be close enough for you to have consistent time, or at least I grew up with parents that divorced, and for years I was doing like 1 week here, 1 week there, 1 week here, 1 week there, and I think we even tried 2 weeks and 2 weeks, and all kind of different methods, right? We just tried all kind of stuff. And long story short, he's come back to live with us till he graduates